Hello everyone, welcome back to US Diplomacy. In today's episode, we will discuss an increasingly important topic in international relations: climate change and US diplomacy. Climate change is one of the biggest global challenges of the 21st century. Unlike traditional political conflicts, climate change affects every country regardless of borders, economic systems, or political ideologies. Because climate change is a global issue, it requires international cooperation. No single country can solve it alone. This is where diplomacy becomes extremely important. Climate diplomacy refers to the efforts of countries to work together on environmental issues, reduce emissions, and protect the planet for future generations. The United States has played an important role in global climate discussions for many years. As one of the world's largest economies and a major producer and consumer of energy, American policies often influence international climate efforts. To understand climate diplomacy, we first need to understand the challenge itself. Climate change is primarily driven by greenhouse gas emissions. These gases trap heat in the atmosphere and contribute to rising global temperatures. Scientists have warned that increasing temperatures can lead to extreme weather events, rising sea levels, droughts, floods, and other environmental challenges. Because these effects can impact economies, agriculture, public health, and national security, governments around the world have become increasingly concerned. International climate diplomacy began gaining momentum in the late 20th century. Countries started holding conferences and negotiations to discuss environmental protection and sustainable development. The goal was to create agreements that would encourage nations to reduce emissions and cooperate on climate solutions. The United States has participated in many of these international discussions. American diplomats, scientists, policymakers, and environmental experts have worked with representatives from other countries to address climate challenges. One important aspect of climate diplomacy is balancing environmental goals with economic needs. Many countries depend on industries that use fossil fuels, while others are investing heavily in renewable energy. Diplomats often face the challenge of finding solutions that support both economic growth and environmental sustainability. Another major topic is renewable energy. Technologies such as solar power, wind energy, and electric transportation are becoming increasingly important. The United States has invested in research and innovation to develop cleaner energy solutions. These technological advancements often become part of international cooperation and diplomatic discussions. Climate diplomacy is also closely connected to national security. Environmental changes can increase competition for resources, contribute to migration, and create humanitarian challenges. Because of this, many governments now consider climate change a security issue as well as an environmental one. Another important area is international cooperation. Countries share scientific research, environmental technologies, and policy experiences. Through diplomatic channels, governments can learn from one another and coordinate responses to global environmental challenges. The private sector also plays a role. Businesses, researchers, universities, and non-governmental organizations often participate in climate-related discussions and initiatives. This creates opportunities for partnerships beyond traditional government diplomacy. Climate finance is another important topic. Developing countries often require financial support to adopt cleaner technologies and strengthen environmental protection efforts. International discussions frequently address funding, investment, and economic assistance for climate-related projects. The United States participates in many of these conversations through diplomatic and economic channels. Technology continues to transform climate diplomacy. Advanced research, satellite monitoring, environmental data collection, and clean energy innovation help governments make informed decisions. Digital communication also allows countries to coordinate more effectively than ever before. However, climate diplomacy is not always easy. Countries have different economic priorities, energy needs, and political systems. Negotiations can be complex because governments must balance domestic concerns with international commitments. Despite these challenges, cooperation remains essential. Environmental problems do not stop at national borders. Air pollution, ocean health, weather patterns, and global temperatures affect multiple countries at the same time. This reality makes diplomacy a critical tool for addressing climate change. Looking toward the future, climate diplomacy will likely become even more important. As technology advances and environmental challenges continue to evolve, countries will need stronger partnerships and greater cooperation. The United States will continue to play a significant role in shaping global climate discussions and environmental policies. Future diplomats may spend as much time discussing energy, technology, and sustainability as they do traditional political issues. This shows how diplomacy continues to evolve with changing global realities. In conclusion, climate change has become one of the defining challenges of modern international relations. The United States uses diplomacy, innovation, international cooperation, and policy discussions to address environmental issues and promote sustainable solutions. As global challenges become more interconnected, climate diplomacy will remain a key part of American foreign policy. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to US Diplomacy. See you in the next episode.